evening. Can you see me? Am I upside down? I hope I'm not upside down, but I might be. We're combining beans on the last field. I'm waiting for it to show up on my phone. I'm doing this on the GoPro, and I've got it hanging upside down, but I thought it would rotate. It might not be. Yep, I'm upside down. Just a minute, I'll fix it. Better? Alright, can you guys hear me? We'll start there. Yes, you are upside down. We're unloading. I do not have a grain cart driver tonight. Brock was here earlier today, but not now. Echoing? Why is it echoing? If you really can't hear me and it's bad, we'll have to start it over and I'll just do it from my phone, but you guys tell me what you think. Clearly, I assume that means you can hear me. Sounds good. All right, good. How much you got left? Well, we're in the last field. I don't even know how many acres are in this one, but I can tell you. 21. We're down to 21 acres. We got a live stream's worth of acres to go. So, we're loading the cart, empty in here. I'm working on Endros, getting this opened up. Phil's hauling beans. Probably not going to get any more loads out tonight. We've got one truck full here, another truck half full, and then he should be bringing me an empty. And we've got the cart, so we got plenty of room to get them done. But yeah, it's all good. So I got to figure out how I'm going to hold this since you guys are upside down when I have it hanging by the magnet. We're going to try that. See if that works. Otherwise, I'll hold it, but I gotta drive for a minute. Everything is fine, no issues. Okay, good. Check. So, one of you says start over, everybody else says it's good. So I guess we're gonna go with it's good. All right, that view's not too bad. I wanted to beans flow up into the carts. I don't know what that means. Can hear you fine, you're good. You guys have 3 semis. Yes, we do have 3 semis. We have 3 trucks. So we've got our new Volvo that we just bought this last winter. And then we've got the Freightliner Cascadia. Those are the 2 that we use the most. They both have 40-foot Timpty hopper bottoms that we pull with them. And then we have the Freightliner Columbia that has got like I think it's a 34-foot hopper bottom. It's a little bit smaller trailer. But yeah, we have 3. We don't use the 3rd one a lot, especially in beans, because we don't really need it. But the field we are in today is a long ways from the farm, and Phil is hauling to the elevator, which is or the opposite direction from the elevator to the farm. It's got a long haul today, so we got the 3rd truck over here just to try and keep up. Sounds great in Arizona. Good to know. Time for more combine. X9 is needed to get beans out faster. I mean, we can't haul the beans away from the combine today. It's the thing a lot of people don't realize, and I get it, but more combine doesn't mean we get done faster. More combine means we wait on trucks more. Like, if your support logistics are not capable of keeping up with the combine that you have, getting a bigger combine isn't going to do you any good. Not going to help, not at all. So we can cover ground in a hurry with what we've got. And I know it's the 24th of October and we're just now finishing up beans, but if you look at the days that we have run beans and how quickly we've gotten over stuff, we did pretty good this year. I mean, we didn't start until October 1st, and we've had several rain delays that we did not have at all last year. So I'm not upset with how long bean harvest took us. Plus, we've had pretty good yields and we've had a lot of bushels to deal with, and that's always a good thing. If we have to slow down because we have so many beans to get rid of, we'll slow down. That's fine with me, right? After I get endros done and I'm not driving by hand and we can use the auto steer, I'll hold the camera and show you guys what we're doing a little bit more. Be able to read your questions better, but for right now, this is what I have to do. Just finished watching your last video. Good, thank you. Yeah, we're just gonna take this out. Is it warm there to do? Yes, it is very warm. So yesterday morning we had a killing frost, hard frost, right? Today it was 81 degrees this afternoon. Makes sense. Supposed to be nice here the next 3 days, I believe. And by nice, I mean warm, 70s. Chances of rain tomorrow, though. And then we get cold in a hurry. We go to highs in the 40s, and then highs in the 30s, lows in the 20s at night. Like, a week out from now looks miserably cold. But it's that time of year. The weather is changing fast on us, so it is what it is. I'm going to ignore that next comment and just tell you that you're all a bunch of cheaters, and we'll move on. Oh, gotcha. The upside down comment from the beans flowing up, and yeah, got it. What's the price of fuel there? Regular is $3.69, road diesel is $4.35. I work at a Sunoco gas station. I think I paid $3.27 for regular gas today. I couldn't tell you what the price of road fuel is because I don't ever buy road fuel. Fills up the semi-trucks and keeps track of all that stuff, so I don't do it. And I don't have a diesel pickup yet, so I don't really pay attention to it. But $3.27 I think I paid for regular gas. You should do an entire live upside down. That was cool and unique. You like that? I mean, I can hang it back up there if you guys want me to be upside down, but it's kind of weird. Just came on hoping you were having a good day. We're doing well. So we are about 20 acres from finishing soybean harvest. That means we're about 70 acres done on the day, so we're having a good day as it is. Hauled dry corn to town this morning. Yeah, everything's going pretty well. Some computer issues on the combine where I've had to restart a couple of times, but outside of that, we're okay. How's the beans looking today? All right. Oh, no, I'm almost done. Got one more pass on these ends. Well, we got more of it. I'll show you the beans in a little bit. Hire more people in trucks. Right. Like, it's just that easy. Do you know how hard it is to find somebody to drive a truck that's capable of driving a truck? Brock was mad at me today because in yesterday's video I said he wasn't capable of driving the one truck. He thinks he is, but I've ridden with him in it. He's not. At least not comfortably capable where I would put him on. There's a U.S. highway right here that we're working on that you got to drive down. Like, no, sorry, bud, not doing it. Now, the automatics or the auto shifts are fine. You can do that. But it's not that easy to just hire more people. Nor do I want to hire more people. Nor do I need to hire more people. Like, it's okay if it takes us an extra couple of days to finish combining because we have to haul corn and beans. And it's not the end of the world. Okay, where are we at here? Greetings from Scotland. It's been a late harvest here as well. Keep up the good work and the great channel. Cheers. Okay, from Scotland. Did you guys have all the smoke from Canada this summer too? Everybody seems to be blaming the smoke that we had back in June and July for the late maturing crops, which I do think had an impact and is part of it. I also think the dry weather that we had in May and June really slowed things down, and the crops just sat there and didn't progress and mature. So I don't know, hard to say what caused it exactly, but yeah, the corn especially is just way behind. I talked to one of my seed customers yesterday that's from 30 miles northeast of here, and they were just kind of getting started with beans. Like, they're way behind, and it's going to be a miserable harvest if you have got a lot of beans out yet, because we're running out of days. Well, that didn't sound good. Sounded like a stick, a tree branch. You know, the days are getting short now. We're to the end of October, and it's cool. We don't get enough sunshine to dry the beans out and to have good harvest days. So I saw a chart that our local news station put on a week or two ago that showed the percentage of sunny days or sunshine that we get kind of by month, or they basically showed that we drop off a cliff on the 15th of October in the number of sunny days that we get, or the amount of sunshine. It went from like 65-70% to 35% in that time frame. So it's just, you just don't get sun anymore, and that's why it's important to get beans done early and keep moving on them as much as you can. So even today, I mean, we're down to 14% beans now, but they started at 16 and they just dried slow. But we're not fighting super dry beans like we sometimes do in September. All right, we're beaning in Convoy, Ohio too. Good for you, Michael. Hope it's going well. What the heck is road diesel? You telling me your trucks and tractors use different gas? Sorry, City Slicker. Yes, and it's not gas, it's diesel, right? So there's a difference between gasoline and diesel fuel. And the tractors use off-road fuel. The trucks have to use on-road fuel. And the difference is taxes. So we do not have to pay the road tax for the fuel that we burn in our tractors and the farm equipment. And so the giant fuel tank sitting at the farm is full of red diesel, which designates it as non-taxed off-road fuel. In the semi-trucks, you have to run clear, or what looks like green diesel fuel, because that is what is taxed, or it has the road tax. And that can vary a little bit state to state. I'm not 100% sure exactly what the tax is, but it's 60 or 70 cents a gallon, I want to say. So it's significant, and worth keeping it separate. So yes, there is a difference. Just temporary help. Yeah, well, it's even harder to find temporary help than it is to find permanent help. Guys don't want to work for 2 or 3 months. They want permanent jobs, and they want you to pay them really well all the time, which is fine, and they deserve that. Especially somebody that's capable of driving a truck. It's not like there's a bunch of truck drivers sitting on the street corners that are looking for a job for a week or 2 months, and then they're happy to be off again. They either have jobs, because everybody is hiring, and you can make really good money as a truck driver right now, or they don't want to work. So yeah, I get what you're saying, but it's not quite that simple. If we really needed to, we could put all 4 of us on a harvest crew for a day. You know, Dad could run the combine, and Brock can grain cart, and Phil and I could truck. But we feel that it's more important to keep the tillage equipment moving and for other operations to be taking place than it is for us to keep the combines moving. And the other side of that is, you know, with beans, it's one thing when we're hauling to town like today, but like with the corn yesterday, we caught the dryer. It's not like, dang it, got a stick. No. Got it. Almost got it in. It's not like we could have done much more yesterday, because our wet bin was almost full when we got done last night. So combining faster just means we shut the combine off sooner. Especially going to be the case in corn harvest this year, where corn is so wet. It is going to be, our days are going to be severely limited by how fast our dryer can dry, not by how fast we can shell or haul. All right. I still want to try and drive an 18 speed. Yeah, I've never driven an 18 speed transmission. I personally really like the auto shifts, especially that Volvo I-Shift. Man, that truck is so nice. I got to drive it this morning, hauling to town corn. It's so much better. Just nicer. Oh, man. I like that truck a lot. No smoke, plenty of rain, though. Okay. So no smoke in Scotland. Scotland, Sweden, somewhere. Late, you guys gonna finish today? Yes, we're gonna finish today. We should be done. I don't know if it'll be by 7:30, but by 8 o'clock we'll be done. Boys, say hi. Hi, Carrie. Hope everybody's doing well out there in Illinois. Cutting double crops now. Nice. My double crops are not ready. So I say we're going to finish beans today, and that's true. First crop beans. We still do have our double crops. Got about 85 acres of those to combine. They're not ready. Now they were mostly yellow and brown before we got the hard frost yesterday. You can definitely see some double crop beans that weren't as far along as ours that are dead today. They were green and they're now dead green from the frost yesterday. But I think ours made it. I think they're going to be decent, but it's going to be 2 or 3 weeks before they'll be ready to go. So we're going to work on corn for a while, and then next time we get a nice sunny decent day that looks like we can run beans, we'll go over and get them. I'm going to need to get my water out here pretty quick. It is dusty and hard to see. Okay, that's what auto steer's for. How many of the buying new stuff people have set big donos to pay for it? Yeah. No, I haven't got too many donations to pay for any of the stuff that everybody wants us to buy, but now we're fine. We do well. Problem is prioritizing what things are at the top of the list and what's the most important for us to upgrade, right? But we'll figure it out. Hope everything is going well. Have a safe virus. Thanks, Jim. Have you thought about these big mobile grain bins to temporarily store semi-loads to the field to catch up, like a grain cart was just moved? I have. They call them mother bins. The big ones that I've seen at some of the farm shows is this walkabout mother bins. They're based out of Australia, and they put a kangaroo on the side that's colored like an American flag, which I find quite ironic, actually. Yeah, that's an interesting concept. It makes a lot of sense. I think it would work, but those things are also like $200,000 or $300,000 or more. Like, they're ridiculously expensive, and I just don't know if you could justify it for what we're doing. If you had huge fields and you were doing sections or at least quarters in one area and you could cart to it and dump into it, especially if you were a big operation running 2 or 3 combines and a couple of carts, those make a lot of sense. We're not that. All right, it is time. Any of you watching that are combining and haven't turned your lights on yet, y'all win. It's not dark enough that I need them, but the dust makes it really hard to see. And yeah, so I turned them on. Plus it dims the display that you guys are sitting next to, so I can see better. Okay. Oh no. I'm behind. Gotta love trees. Yeah, trees. What's your favorite farm or field to farm? Like, you have a favorite memory in that farm? Well, those are 2 different questions. My favorite farm is it changes. It's the one we irrigate corn in, right? Where I can raise really good corn. Like, I love that field and being able to do that with the corn. It kind of not a great bean field, apparently. We haven't had the best beans because of the white mold issues we've had. But I would say that one. I don't know about a favorite memory in that farm. It's a deer, sticks me nothing. Just eat it. Yeah. It's fine, it just makes a noise, right? Better than a rock. You might have to fire the top drive. No, I'm fairly confident we're going to have to fire up the top drive. I said that to Phil this morning. We're going to have to run both dryers. I even contemplated the fact that we've got 2 top drives down to Berkey that we aren't going to use this fall. I'm like, man, we might need to think about that. But the problem is the good one is full of wheat and the other one's full of soybeans. We'd have to move all that stuff in order to use it. That's probably not going to happen. It is going to be a long fall drying corn. All right. Yeah, built your farm in Farm Sim. Nice. That's cool. Did you say that you recently bought some more land? I did, Matt. There'll be more details to come in the future, but there was an auction last week Dad and I went to. Managed to get one of the tracts bought, about 42 acres. So we're pretty excited about that. The guy that farmed it this year has double crop beans on it. We can't do anything on it. Technically, he's got it signed up into a cover crop program with the state of Ohio that we don't actually get possession until March 16th. It's got to stay in his stuff until the 15th of March. So it's going to be a little while. We're not going to be able to do any fall tillage there, which I would really like to do. But it is what it is. So yeah, we'll show you more about that later. We have 640 acre of them shelling corn with one machine and double crops with the other. Nice. Caleb is slowly healing. We see the orthopedic surgeon next week. Pregnant, wrist pain, jaws healing. That's good, Carrie. I'm glad to hear it. All right. Did you decide on the 360 rain? We have not pulled the trigger yet. I'm waiting on them to get me some quotes on pumps and piping, stuff like that, so we can kind of know the peripheral stuff and what else we're going to have into it beyond just the cost of the actual 360 rain unit. He's supposed to give me that stuff tomorrow. I would guess that we will have to make a decision by the end of this week. Buying a farm in there doesn't help. But we'll see. The beans have been pretty good, better than what we had kind of budgeted for, so that's helpful. I would like to have more corn shelled so we know where we're going to come in on our corn crop. But if the first field is an indicator, we're going to be okay. They are huge. I don't know what you were talking about being huge, but okay. Oh, the walkabout mother bins, probably. Yeah, they are. They're like 4,000 bushels. We know you're a numbers guy. What are you averaging currently for the season on beans? Well, decent. I am a numbers guy. I know that number. I don't know if I want to tell you that number exactly. But you guys have seen most of our yields. I will tell you that our worst beans, the low, is a little 30-acre piece that went 56. If that's the low, we're in pretty good shape. Our best beans was actually the very first field that we ran. And once we had everything calibrated and we got the grain cart data, they went better than the combine said. They actually went 82. 82 is very good. Now, the beans dropped off here at Waldron. The white mold hurt, so our average is not that good, but yeah, we did okay. Thanks, Dale. Won the light game, but I'm chisel plowing. Yeah, you're going to win that chiseling every time over a combine. Unless you got a grain cart in the neighborhood, then they might win, especially if they're in a sit and hold pattern when it starts to get dark. Your display does have a nighttime mode in the settings that will dim without the lights on. Yes, I know, but then I have to go in and change it, and then I have to remember to change it back. Or I can just leave it on automatic and it goes with the lights. Dusty, dusty, dusty. Find the rows. Find the rows. Yeah. There they are. So you can see these beans here. They're not very tall. These were towards the end of the planting window. I don't remember the exact day they were planted. They're not bad beans. They're not great beans, but they're not bad. I'd have to look and see what variety this is. I know what the other ones were in the other field. There was a 28-18, but there's a variety split somewhere over there, and I think these are different. But you know, 63, 71, 75 in that little spot. 13.8 moisture, 14. There's spots that are really good. Field average is up there around 59. So we'll take that. They're not bad. All right, spin you back around here. What causes white mold? All right, let's talk about white mold. And I've talked about this in other videos, so bear with me. But white mold is a disease caused by a fungus that lives in the soil. Sclerotia, sclerotinia, something like that is the scientific name. I don't know it exactly, but basically there's this fungus that lives in the soil. It forms kind of a mushroom-like fruiting body that comes up through the soil surface, and it poofs spores up into the air. This happens the end of June through July, depending on weather conditions. You gotta have the right moisture conditions. Those spores land on the flowers of the soybean plants and are able to then infect the plant, get into the stem and the leaf tissue and everything, and basically kill the plant from the inside out. That's what makes it very difficult to control, is the fact that it infects the flowers. So you have to spray fungicides that kill this particular fungus when the spores are active to protect the flowers. It's kind of a long window that you're at risk. Those fungicides are very expensive. Like the fungicide we spray on corn and beans normally, somewhere between $15 and $20 an acre usually, just for the chemical. This one that protects against white mold, and only white mold, is over 40. Okay? That's why we're real hesitant to start spraying for it, because when you have to spray, you don't even know if you're going to get white mold. It is not an every year thing. We had almost none last year. If I would have sprayed that, you know, $40 an acre chemical on 1,000 acres, that's $40,000 that I just wasted because we didn't need it. So it's not as simple as you just spray everything. But anyway, that's what causes it. Time for a bigger dryer, maybe, but not years like this make you consider it. Yeah, well, the problem, you know, we upgraded our dryer, what, 4 years ago now, and we have a pretty good fast dryer. It's not slow. We could maybe go a little faster or bigger. And the nice thing about the dryer that we have is we can just add tiers and go taller and gain a lot of capacity as far as how fast it would dry it through it. So we have that ability, but last 2 years we've been able to dry our corn so fast we could barely keep up shelling with the dryer. Like we had to lower the temperatures because the corn was going through it so fast, because it was, you know, 18 to 20% corn coming out of the field, and it was such good quality that it dried really fast, and a bigger dryer wouldn't have done us any good. So it's just, every year's different. This year happens to be the year that's gonna bite. It's gonna hurt having to dry corn like this. That happens about once or twice every 10 years. I remember 2009 was by far the worst year for crops, you know, quality and conditions and stuff that I can ever remember. We dried every bushel of grain that we grew that year. Corn, wheat, soybeans. Every single bushel that we harvested went through a dryer in 2009. This is the worst year since then, and we didn't dry a bushel of soybeans. I'm not entirely sure we dried any wheat. Did we dry wheat? You guys would know better than me, probably. I don't think we did. And so, you know, if we gotta take some time and dry the corn, it'll be okay. There's been a couple other years in there where we've had some wet crops and we've had to dry a lot. 2019 was that way, but that was due to the late planting more than the summer growing conditions or anything. It was the fact that we didn't plant any corn until June. But we didn't have that much corn, so it wasn't a big deal. How many bushels per hour was it putting out today? The dryer was putting out 650, 700, drying 25 to 27% corn. So, you know, that's not a slow dryer. You're taking 15 points of moisture out almost, because we over dry things. And to put out 700 bushel an hour, yeah, I'll take that. I'm happy with it. How many bushels? Oh no, that's the one I just read. Hi Scott, curious what your bushel wise and moisture. Just got on, good to see you. Yeah, we're these beans are running right around 60 bushel an acre, and we're down to like 14% moisture at the moment. I'm gonna have to turn my light on here, aren't I? You guys can't see me anymore. Let's see if that's any better. I don't think this one will help. I'll watch. Why is it called white mold when it looks black? Well, it turns the beans black after they die. The mold and stuff, if you go back to the videos around Labor Day, late August, early September, when I was showing the actual mold when it was infecting the beans, you'll see that there's a white mold that forms up and down the stem of the beans, and that's why it's called white mold. It's just the dead beans that you're seeing now and the leaves that died and turned black. That's not the actual mold. Nope, don't like that light. Time to unload again. This whole field's not going to fit on this grain cart, so we are going to have to go and empty it at some point here. That's okay. Broke down doing beans today. Bummer. That's no good. So when are you going to be like those big YouTube farmers and get yourself a good dog to ride along with you? Yeah, I don't know. We're not inside dog people. Well, my wife is, but I am not. I never had dogs in our house when we were growing up. And we had outside dogs. We had good outside dogs. We had a little Jack Russell Terrier that would ride with me all the time when I was a kid, or, well, teenager through college. But we do not have one around the farm right now. I think my wife and kids would like a dog, but I will not allow it in my house. We just built a new house. Why would I want to let a dog come in and destroy everything? That sounds like a terrible idea. And so they don't want to get one that we have to leave outside, so we don't have a dog. And my parents had one a while ago, and it got hit on the road. And Dad doesn't have a ton of patience for loose dogs, I guess. So we're probably not going to get a dog for a while. I know, that's how you increase your YouTube views. You just show your dogs all the time, but no, not going to happen, I don't think. I wouldn't mind having an outside dog that could run around, but I don't want a hot dog in my house. Alright. Just tune in. How's your second crop beans? The double crop beans they're fine. They got frosted, so they're dead. We just got to wait for them to dry down. But I think they're going to be pretty good. It's going to be a couple of weeks before we get into them at least. Oh, I missed some questions here. Sorry, we'll go back. Are you using the automatic in corn? I was playing with it yesterday. You'll see more of that later, I suppose. But yeah, I was trying to use it. You got to get a good baseline and get everything adjusted really well to set a performance target before you let the automatic take over. So one thing I think we're going to fight with this wet corn is grinding it up and breaking the corn. So I want to, when we're done with beans here, change one of our concaves. So I'm running those Condex concaves, right? And there's two different styles. There's the aggressive max thresh style, and then the kind of round bar, less aggressive style. And right now I have an aggressive, round bar, aggressive, and then all round bars after that. I want to change that third one from the aggressive style to the round bar style to try and be a little gentler on the corn and not grind it up as much. But I wanted to get these beans done before I did that, because I think that that configuration works really well in beans. Now these are dry, they're not green, it probably wouldn't have mattered. But I didn't really think about it until yesterday when we were sort of fighting grinding corn and having lots of fines in it. I don't want that. So we're going to do what we can to eliminate it. Are you going to let Brock get any seat time in the combine this year? Probably not. Minimal, if any. He's rode with me some. Do you get docked when you sale beans with white mold? We have not yet. Now, if you had enough of that black sclerotia, the rat turd looking stuff, in the beans, I suppose they would dock you for FM. I have not seen any FM dock on any of our beans yet this year, so no, haven't. Nice high roll. I don't know what I rolled my eyes at, but yeah. How many acres of beans left? Well, let's see. We are in the last field, and we are down to 12 acres remaining. Getting close. 7 o'clock and it's almost dark on me already. Crazy. Wait till the time change in a couple weeks. I don't know when that is, but I will say I do love running equipment in the dark. Now, I don't like combining beans in the dark as much because a lot of times you can't because it gets tough, right? Now, it doesn't matter if these get tough or not. We're going to finish them tonight. I'm not leaving 12 acres. Rain coming tomorrow. But shelling corn after the time change when it gets dark at 5:30 at night, you can just work in the lights. I love it. Somewhere, my rows are curvy. That means we got an obstacle, and it's dusty. Next pass over, there's a post. It's right there. Yeah. Good luck seeing that. Okay, where are we at? What's your thoughts on your precision reveals, conceals, or the 2x2 on your planter? Just bought a planter like yours. Probably should watch your planting videos. Sorry to be a little off task. No, you're fine. I really like those conceals. I think it's good. I cannot sit here and tell you that that fertilizer placement gained me any yield or made me any money, and I don't have any side-by-sides to be able to say that yes or no this year. But in theory, it works. I like the idea of putting fertilizer on both sides of the row. I like those conceals for doing it. They worked really well for me. The thing that I didn't like with the fertilizer system on my planter this year was the nozzle or the tube that the in-furrow drips out of. It was splashing all over my closing wheels and not exactly going where I want it. So that's kind of the top of my list of things to upgrade on the corn planter ahead of next spring. But overall, that planter worked really, really well, and I am a fan of the conceals. Oh, good. The wind's blowing the right way. I'll be able to see that post up here. Been a long time since fall like this. Yep. Bet your dad sits back and laugh. I can remember when 25% was normal. Yeah, when we, Dad and I took that hand sample a couple of days ago on that field we shelled yesterday. They tested it. I thought it said 24 or something. Like, it was a little drier than what we shelled it as. And he says, oh, we're good. Anything under 25 is good. Well, yes, but I don't know why it seems to be that way, that 25 years ago they shelled a lot more 25 to 30% corn than we do today. I don't know if it's all in the genetics or the weather or what, but I don't like 25% corn. I want to be somewhere between 20 and 22% ideally. Alright, I gotta dodge a property line post. Oh, what's that say? You see the Cornstar high management bean, white mold, and -20. I did not see anything from Cole. I don't keep up with his videos very well. But the white mold cost him 20 bushel. That sounds low, actually. I would think it cost more than that. White mold's a big deal in our area this year. I've had lots of people commenting saying that they've got white mold too. You can just see it in everybody's beans. So, but it really is hit and miss. Like, there are some fields that have a bunch of it, and there's other fields that have hardly any. And other than not being beans 2 years ago, I can't draw a lot of conclusions as to why that is. Could you maybe drone spot spray something before or after harvest in white mold areas? Maybe, but they're so widespread, I don't know if you're going to gain that much. I mean, you can tell on the yield maps where the super heavy areas are that cost us a lot, but yeah, I've heard that there's this contains or whatever, the product that you can spray on the stubble to kill the white mold, you know, so it's not there 2 years from now. I have not heard good things about it. I've heard that it does not work. So we're not going to do any of that. Like the stuff that I'm going to do to combat this white mold, right? I got a lot of comments on this white mold video I made a few days ago about how I was just making excuses and not actually going to try anything. That's not what I said. What I said was, number one, I'm going to pay a lot more attention to the varieties, and we're going to pick varieties that have good white mold tolerance, especially in the fields that we know we need to. Which is the second point. We're going to pay attention to what fields had it this year and make that list and try and do better selection and control measures on the fields that we think may be a higher risk. Two, I'm going to try and drop planting populations in those fields, because even in my 30-inch rows, I had white mold, but one of the things I noticed in my plot was that where I dropped the populations in 30-inch rows to 100,000 or less, I had a lot less white mold. Well, that's something I can do pretty easily. And two, in certain fields certain fields where I know that it's a problem and I cannot afford to have white mold issues, we're just not going to plant beans. We're going to go some corn on corn. We're going to extend that rotation interval. We're going to go corn beans, or maybe throw a wheat corn beans or something in there to try and break the cycle up a little bit more. So we're going to start with those things, and if we still have issues in 5 years, then maybe we'll think about something else. But I think that will help. And as intermittent as a problem as it is, it's just like wet corn, right? Last year we didn't have any wet corn. The year before we didn't have, not that we didn't have wet corn, we didn't fight this wet of corn, slow drying, long drawn out harvest. And we are this year, or we're going to. We didn't have white mold last year. We didn't have white mold 4 years ago. It's a hit and miss thing that you're not going to spend a ton of money or cultural practices, major changes to combat something that it's a hit and miss thing. It's not guaranteed to be a problem, so it's not guaranteed to need a solution. Greetings from Charlotte, Michigan. Yes, it's Charlotte. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Last time I did a live stream, it was Charlotte, North Carolina, and somebody else said they were from Charlotte, but it was the same guy, and I thought it was from Michigan, and it's Charlotte. Go cheaters. Farm dogs are outside dogs. Exactly. 226 people watching right now, but only 73 likes. Shame on y'all. Thanks, Matt. Would you ever consider selling your Berkey farm if you could buy enough acres closer to the home farm? Absolutely not. Not a chance. Nope. Nuh-uh. No way. For two reasons. One, it diversifies our risk weather-wise. It's very good soil types down there. And two, that is my family's home farm. Like, that is where my great-grandfather kind of started the farming operation. That is where, like when you trace back your ancestry and lineage to the beginning of the farming. I'm sure that there were farmers in my family before my great-grandfather. But from what we can trace back to what we know and recognize as our current farm, that's where it started. The home farm there he bought in 1926. We are still farming that chunk of ground today, and it'll be a century farm in a couple of years. We have another farm down there that we've had the same landlord or same family. We've been renting it since 1943 or 46 or something like that. Like, it's long term. We've been on that same ground forever, and I am not about to give that up. Nope, not happening. We always did our best work in the dark. Yep. We have an Australian Shepherd. Other than the hair, he's an absolute saint in the house and around the farm animals. He's also a good protector for my son and intruder alert. Yes, I understand the security aspect of having a dog, and yes, that is a consideration. I just cannot stand the hair everywhere and chewing stuff up, and I am more of a small dog kind of guy. I know, it's weird. I get it. But I am more likely to have like that Jack Russell Terrier we had was awesome. I loved that dog. He was little, his legs were about this long. I could pick him up and carry him. He rode in the tractors with me all the time. Like, that was great. I don't want a huge dog. I don't want a Great Dane or even a German Shepherd or something. They're too big. I don't want that. Wouldn't fit in the tractor with me. Do you have any good ways of controlling white mold? Yeah, we just talked about that. How long until harvest? Second plant beans. What's your yield estimate? It's going to be a little while. 2 to 3 weeks would be my guess at the absolute earliest. It may be after Thanksgiving. It may be after we're done with corn. Who knows? Just kind of depends on when we get a decent weather time to do it. Decent day. I really think they're going to be pretty decent. I am hoping that they're 40 bushel beans. I think there's a chance that they're 50 bushel beans. I don't think they're worse than 30. I'm hoping for 40. My side hills when corn is 25 start, never know when it gets wet or snow, and 25 is better than waiting till spring. Yeah, I mean, if our corn was all under 25, I wouldn't be complaining. I just think we maybe have 200 acres of corn that's under 25 right now. Everything else is 28 to 30 or wetter. Like, it's gonna be rough. Is there any correlation to fall tillage that may apply to the white mold that you can think of? That is something that I needed to look into a little bit more, and something that I'm curious about. And I can't say right now one way or the other, but we did no heavy fall tillage in corn stalks last year other than the one field that is corn on corn. So would running a ripper through some of those fields have prevented the white mold? Maybe. I don't know. I can't say that for sure, but I don't have any data to suggest that it wouldn't, right? So I don't know. How many acres of corn can you do a day with an 8-row header? Well, if it's dry and we're close and we can haul it, I can do over 100 pretty easily. 100, 120. Yesterday we did 70, and we weren't going to be able to do much more than that even if we didn't finish the field, just because our wet bin was full. But that's because it's wet. So it's not unreasonable to do an 80 or even 100 acres if you can start with an empty wet bin, get the dryer running right away first thing in the morning, and keep pecking away at it. Yesterday we got it. We started relatively early, but then we shut down to go get the dryer started because it was first day startup stuff, and like we didn't keep at it consistently. So somewhere in that ballpark. And the thing is, if I got a 12-row head, I would do it in less hours, but I wouldn't do any more. It's not like it's gonna make our dryer faster or anything. So yeah. Hi from the UK. Hello. Is the Berkey farm close to being a century farm? Well, I mean, the one chunk of ground we've been farming since 1926. So we're, what, 3 years away, I guess. Now that is not the farm where our building site is with the bins and the barns and everything. That one my grandpa bought in 1956. So we got a little while to get to that one. Sorry, I'm driving back to the other side of the woods and I do not want to run into a tree with the bean head. All right. Greetings from chemical plant in Arizona. Think safety first. Yeah, well, sometimes we do that. We're done with harvest so long ago, I'm starting to miss it again. Yeah. That'll happen, I suppose. Well, my grandparents, they purchased in 1924. Awesome. That's cool. What's your thoughts on the See and Spray? Do you think you could make money back in a timely manner? I do not. I think See and Spray is really cool technology, and I'm sure that somebody can utilize it and make it work. The issue that I have with See and Spray is that it saves on the cheapest chemicals we use, right? It's a spot spray stuff. So when we're spot spraying, that means you're looking for weeds that are actively growing and targeting them. The chemicals that we use for that is mostly glyphosate, Roundup, mostly. Now we do use some 2,4-D, we do use Liberty on rare occasions, very rare that we use Liberty, but it could be done. But glyphosate, the main one that we use, just yesterday, we bought 1,000 gallons for $11.50 a gallon. This stuff is cheap. It is very, very cheap. And so you use a acres I would have to spray or save on chemical using See and Spray to recoup the cost of that system at $3 an acre. Like, if you were saving a chemical that cost $20 or $30 an acre, great. That'll pay back. $3 an acre though, boy, your payback's gonna be awfully long time, if ever. So I don't see the value in it for our situation, but I'm sure that there are places that do. We are gonna have a grain cart full here real fast. So I think we're gonna get out and go unload it. I'll take you guys with me, but then we're probably gonna wrap this live stream up. I gotta get the, I do have my GoPro, another one. I suppose I could finish the end of bean harvest on that for the actual video for tomorrow, but you know, I gotta get that. Show you. She's gonna be full. When I'm done here, I'll let you take guesses. How much does it weigh? Put your guesses in now. Not gonna get empty. Okay. We'll idle the combine down. And we gotta shut the thresher off. What do you think? What's it weigh? It's 1196, so theoretically it's an 1100 bushel grain cart. That's in theory. And these are beans, not corn. Alright. That was dangerous. Don't climb down ladders that way. Oh, I got lots of questions to catch up on. Light a second so you can see me. There we go. All right, everybody got their guesses in? Not as much as I thought. Scroll down. 62.5, 59.555, 63.3, 78,000, 63.250, 56.5, 65,000, 58.7, 61.6. You guys are pretty good. 63, pretty good. Let's see, where's my light? Right here. 62.290. Did somebody say 62.3? 62.5. Quinn, you're the closest, I think. 62,000. 61. Close, guys. Quinn wins. 62.5, he said. It's 62.290. All right, where's the lights button? This one. There we go. Now, we won't get all of that out because it doesn't all fit in the truck. It's too much. That's too much. It's like a Price is Right game. That's too much. You guys remember that one? Yeah. Right, where can I set you? All right. Nope, not like that. Not like that. Does that look reasonable? All right, we're gonna go try and go back to where I was. See and spray, there we go. Appreciate your time and effort, bring us along. About time to go check the family. Thanks for joining. Can't go wrong with a jack. Can't go wrong with a jack. Okay. Any plans for upgrades for the new corn planter? I already talked about this a little bit. I need something different for fertilizer placement for the in-furrow fertilizer. So yes, there's some plans there. Dogs are awesome, but looks like farm cats can also bring YouTube views and catch mice. Yes, the problem with cats is I'm allergic to cats. So there'll be no cats around. Alright. I'll fit in the truck. Uh-oh. It's too much. Not live anymore. There we go. Okay. Do you have a program in place for thoughts on deep ripping, subsoiling? You showed some areas on your yield maps the other day low due to compaction for trucks and grain cart. Right, well, we run that 2730 ripper. Anything going to corn next year, we'll get that ripper run through it. So we've got the wheat stubble done. Dad's running right now in bean stubble as we speak. We got some fertilizer spread yesterday, so he's able to keep working on that. We're waiting for him to get our chicken litter spread so that we can keep that ripper moving. All right. Get the right truck put in their Libra system here, which is awesome, by the way. It works really well. Now it says 62,785, but we moved. Okay. How about right here? You guys want to watch? Will you stay there? Close enough. All right. Ready? Go. High moisture in the corn and the price of LP affect the profit highly? I don't know if I would say highly. We're definitely going to have to buy more LP. But just like diesel fuel, that's a relatively minor cost in the grand scheme of things. Like, yeah, it's going to hurt, but there's nothing we can do about it. So you actually inspired me to start my own channel. It's doing really well. Lots of hard work goes into making videos. It does, but good for you. Talk about priming your drying system with already dried corn. I didn't follow that exactly. Could you explain it again? Well, when we fill that dryer, there's a lot of, if we put wet corn right out of the field, that 28% corn in, it would be wet at the bottom, right? And the way that dryer works is the corn comes in the top, and it starts heating up, and it starts the drying process as it works its way from the top to the bottom, and then by the time it gets to the bottom, it's dry. The problem is if you put wet corn in all the way to the bottom, then you've got wet corn coming out right away as soon as you start it up. And so by using dry corn in the bottom half is what I was trying to do, that you don't have any wet corn coming out right away at first. You will, it will have some time to dry some. Now the stuff that's halfway down may still come out a little bit wet. $59,203 we put on there. The stuff we put on in that's halfway down is going to come out just a little bit wet, but it's going to be drier than it would have been had we, you know, put wet corn all the way to the bottom. So if you do that and you put wet corn in exclusively without the dry corn priming it, then you've got to recirculate it back through the dryer and kind of dry it a second time. And it just takes a lot longer, especially with our setup. That's a harder thing for us to do because you got to keep switching the unload around and where it's going, and it was a lot easier to put dry corn in there and work it through that way. So, was the white mold any better where you irrigated last year on your corn? No, it was worse. The white mold was worse where I irrigated last year than where we didn't, which has me slightly concerned, but what am I going to do about it? Good evening from Vancouver Island, Canada. First snow in the hills today. Oh yeah, I was on Vancouver Island earlier this summer. Victoria. All right, we're gonna park this, get back in our combine, go finish it up. We can't have more than 8 or 10 acres to do. Lights. Ugh. All right, where are we at? How many corn crops have you harvested with snow on the ground? It looks like it's snowing in Montana and heading east. Yeah, that's not good. Let's not do snow. It's been a while. I have done it. I don't like to do it. You can't combine with snow on the plants because it plugs the combine up. So, yeah, we're gonna try and avoid that. Come on, go live. There we go. Seems like you guys are very efficient with your equipment and labor. Well, thank you. We try to be. How was the sweet corn yield? People go crazy for sweet corn. I mean, it was fine. Sweet corn's one of those things that you get big plans and I plant a bunch of it. And then when it first is ready, you're like, yeah, this is awesome. Well, you can eat lots of it. And then it keeps getting more and more, and eventually you're just like, I'm sick of sweet corn. So we didn't even pick any from the last planting. At least I didn't. I think Dad did. The lights on this are not nearly as good as the tractor. It's a shame. Okay. My wife is sending me text message pictures. I don't know what they are, but I don't know if she's watching this or not. Nice. I was 290 off. Yeah, you were close too. Guy from The Price is Right just passed away. Yep, Bob Barker. I saw that a few weeks ago, I think. Anna able to share any comments on genetic research that's going on in the industry? I haven't asked her about anything like that. She is soaking everything up and learning a lot about her job and just what it's going on. And that job is so seasonal, everything changes. Oh, crap. Phil's calling me. I think I can answer it because I'm live streaming from that. So we're going to try. Hello?
Hey, can you get done with what you got?
Yes,
there?
Yes, I'll get it.
Oh, you can? Okay, yep. All right. I'm down here at the elevator and it's backed up pretty bad.
I heard it was backed up down there, so that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I'll get done. I've only got 8 or 10 acres to go here.
Okay.
So I got the Cascadia, they just filled it. The other truck's maybe half full, and then the cart is about empty. So I don't know if it'll go on the trucks, but I'll get it done.
Okay. Should I come to the field and get the cart empty?
Don't until I say something. I wouldn't even mess with it tonight, probably.
Okay.
I might get it all on the trucks,
Okay.
So
all right.
don't come here with, yeah, just go back to the farm.
Okay. All right. Just
All right.
checking.
Yeah.
All right. Great.
See ya.
Thanks.
Did that work? I think that worked. I hope it worked. Y'all still there? Uh-oh. Okay. I still see you. How's Phil doing? Keeping up tonight? Yeah, sitting at the elevator. That's how he's doing. I heard they were way backed up today. Like there was a big line. Today's probably one of the biggest days they've had all fall. Guys running beans because everybody realizes it's getting late and your days are limited. So, yeah. Why don't you see your dad more in the videos? Camera shy? I don't know if it's camera shy so much as it's just not his thing. Like he gets in sometimes, but I can't just hand him a camera and have him film it. I did have him do a live stream with me on our way down to the farm show, I think. Farm Science Review. Is that what it was? Sometime he did. I think that's what it was. And after we got done, he's like, I could do that more. That was okay. So I'm trying, but it's just, I'm not going to hand him a camera and say, here, film something, because he's not going to do it. How difficult was learning Command Pro versus normal IVT? It took a while. Last year I hated that, and I didn't hate it. I was frustrated with that Command Pro because it wasn't doing what I wanted it to do. But it's, once you learn it, and I figured it out now, and some of the tricks with it, oh, I love it. It's so much better. That Command Pro is awesome. 2 minutes, 17 seconds. PTO on to PTO off. Nice. Yeah, thanks for timing me. It's fast. She unloads real fast. Is this your first transfer to the truck since your live started? Yes. Because I had just unloaded right before I started this field, and I started the live right after I started the field here. Right after I got some of the ends done, so. But the cart was basically empty when we started. Yeah, that's right. Will the 360 rain allow you to irrigate more acres? A little, right? So with the Traveler that we've been using, I am limited to how far it pulls out, right? It's only got a 1/4 mile hose on it. So if you remember the shape of that field that we irrigate, it's kind of got a couple of triangles along the river, and I cannot hit the one at all. So there's 20 acres there that I can't get that the 360 rain would. It would also go farther into the point. But that was one of the advantages to the Traveler over a Pivot, is that I could cover more of the field than what a Pivot would, because it can do square corners and it can get into the nooks and crannies and the irregularities that Pivots are not good at. So great for you with warm weather, get beets done, go get them. Just sucks that they, what's going on here? Sugar beet dump shut us down till at least this week. Yeah, I'm sure that the warm weather is not good for sugar beet harvest, keeping them cold, because they gotta be cold. So I understand that. A lot of people have way more equipment and people than they need. True. Yep, stayed live. Good. He was with you on the live on vacation also. Yeah, Dad was on the vacation live, so he's getting better at it. He just, it's not his thing. Zealand and Ithaca, I heard, closed early yesterday. Wet bin was full, couldn't dry them fast enough. I believe that. I believe that. One of the neighbors I saw was combining beans on Sunday. Today's Tuesday. And it was sunny Sunday, but it was not, there was no way that the beans were dry, and they were 21%, it sounded like, when they started. So there's been a lot of beans combined this week, wet beans. At a high level, can you rank cost from highest to lowest? I don't think diesel is the highest. Cost from highest to lowest? I don't know if I can get them all right and get it exactly, but land cost is the highest, rent or purchase. Fertilizer, seed, chemicals, equipment, labor, overhead, other overhead costs, diesel. I mean, let's put this into perspective, right? So we're we're shelling corn, or we're combining beans right now. I'm trying to find my fuel usage readout right there. I am burning 21 gallons an hour through this combine, 20 gallons an hour. Let me change this reading to gallons per acre because that's more relevant to the calculation I'm trying to do. Gallons per acre, instant, okay. We'll get the combine full and moving and we'll see what it says. All right, so right now we are burning 20 gallons per hour and using 0.8 gallons per acre. 0.8 gallons of fuel per acre. Means on an instant basis, we are doing 24.7 acres per hour right now, okay? So let's round 0.8 up to 1 for easy math. 1, okay? A gallon of fuel, we just filled up. We got a transport load of fuel in last week. It was $2.78 a gallon for off-road fuel. $2.78. That means my fuel cost for this operation is $2.50 an acre, really, but say $2.78. That's minuscule, right? Minuscule. And I get it. We have also had to plant this field. Planting uses like 0.3 gallons per acre. We had to spray this, also like 0.2, 0.3 gallons per acre. Tillage uses the most, and even at that, you're talking about maybe 2 or 2.5 gallons per acre. So all told, to raise a bean crop, because we're not doing the tillage for the, well, we're doing the disking, I guess. We'll say we've got 2 gallons an acre into disking, but light tillage like that, you're not even using that much fuel. So that's 2 plus 1 for the combine, and we'll say 1 between planting and 3 sprayer passes. So that's 4 gallons an acre times $3 is $12 an acre for fuel. 12, okay, total for the whole crop. Where my seed costs are $80 an acre. My chemical costs are $50 an acre. The land cost, and it's going to vary depending on the farm, but somewhere between $150 and $250 an acre. Like, that's why when I say fuel is insignificant, it doesn't matter. It's because it's a fraction of the cost. It's such a small amount that it is not something that I'm going to make huge decisions based on that. And it's not that it's totally insignificant and doesn't matter. It's that the differences between things don't matter, right? So people get caught up on this. How much fuel are you burning? How much fuel does it use to this combine versus that combine, right? How much fuel is my combine burning versus what a Fendt would or a Case IH? And there probably is some differences in efficiency there. But if I'm burning 0.8 gallons per acre and a Fendt burns 0.7, who cares? Like, that is what is totally insignificant. Like, the fuel cost in general as a total isn't really that big of a deal. The differences between one machine and another doing the same operations is completely irrelevant. All right. Does Phil know his voice was on YouTube? He does now. You hear him on the radio every now and then. It was farm history lesson in the combine last year, I believe. 2 years ago, I got Dad on a farm history lesson. It was video number 500 back when I was numbering them. You guys can go find that one if you want. But yeah, that was a good one. I would like to do that again. Navy vet, and I definitely want to farm one day. Would you recommend a college degree to learn farm management, or just find someone to learn to work under? I mean, yeah, having a college degree is great and it's helpful, but if you can find a farm to work for and mentor you and maybe give you an opportunity someday, that's going to be your best bet, I would say. Better investment than a college degree. What's the difference in the color of the bean plants when they are being harvested? Some stems are gray in color, some are light brown. That's genetics. That's genetics. I can tell you, I can look in my seed guide and see what varieties are a tan or a tawny or gray. They tell me all of that. So That's just different varieties. Did you talk about your new farm? A little bit, way back in the beginning. We bought a chunk of ground earlier this week, or last week, I guess it was. You'll find out more about it later, but yeah, it's a good deal. How many acres will you irrigate with the 360 rain? Well, so that would do the whole field, right? There's 170 acres in that field. It is not mobile. It is not something that you can move from field to field. It's much more, you got to think of it like a pivot where it lives in that field and that's just what it does and where it stays. And would be incredibly difficult to move from one field to another, even year to year. So it would do the whole 173 that's in that field, but it would not do any more than that. What is land going? Oh, wait. Good evening from snowy Saskatchewan. Everyone telling you how to farm. How about you tell us what one practice you'd like to try and maybe one you'd like to quit? That's a great question. One I would like to try, you guys know this if you've been watching, is strip till. It's not going to happen. I didn't make it happen this year. It's just so hard to find a bar around here because nobody does it. And I'm not willing to spend a bunch of money to get one without trying it. One that I'd like to quit, I don't know. I don't know that I'm doing anything that I think is bad or that I don't like doing. Some days I question wheat planting and whether we should be doing that or not, but there's reasons for it. What's land going for an acre there? I am not going to tell you what we paid for this farm, at least not until everything is finalized and closed. Someday you can go look it up. Number guy coming out. Yeah, my fuel rant. There you go. Got in late. Will you finish beans? We are, what are we down to? 4 acres to go. Should get it on the next grain tank load. I doubt fence service equal deer service. Deer has been very good service. Yeah, and that's a big thing, right? Deer, it's dealer support. And I hate having little issues. Now this combine's done really well all fall. We've had very little issues and no significant issues. It's mostly been computer stuff there that is super frustrating, but they're easily fixable with a restart. That's pretty nice. I did have a dealer out for something. What was that? What did they come out and look at? I don't even remember. Sensor? There was some sensor or something. Some EGR pressure sensor exhaust, something. I don't know. It didn't really hold me up, and they came and fixed it. So, and I'm sure that Fendt has good dealers too. And our local Fendt dealer may not even be bad. But the one time I tried to go in there and do some business, they didn't treat me like a real customer, and that leaves a sour taste in your mouth. Someday maybe that'll change, but I really like John Deere stuff. I really like Deere AMS, the Green Star equipment, the yield monitor, the GPS stuff, the My John Deere, like all of that stuff works really well, and I like it a lot. So, did you order your sprayer drone, or have you been talking about it? Are they available, or is the UK war causing issues getting industrial drones? They are available. I have not ordered anything yet. It's something we're still talking about and debating. I'm fairly confident that one's going to happen, but it is second on my list of desires, right behind that 360 rain. So if I have to sacrifice a spray drone and a sprayer and all that stuff for a year to get that 360, well, I'm going to do that. All right, let's finish this up. If you were to expand the farm, do you prefer to buy or lease? Well, I mean, I prefer to buy, but the price has got to be right. You can only do so much. I don't, yeah. So I don't mind renting some farms if it's decent stuff, but we're not in expansion mode. So it's not that I turn stuff down. I'm not looking to turn anything away. I'm just not out looking for anything. College is not going to help you be a good farmer. That's a waste of money and time. I won't say that. there's a lot of business to farming that you need to know, and an ag business degree is certainly helpful. An agronomy degree, if you don't have that background, would certainly be helpful. But I don't know if it's worth the investment, especially if you're already retired out of the Army and a little bit older than your high school graduate. College degree is free, courtesy of the Navy, just costs time. Not sure if that makes a difference there. Now, if you had that information, that changes it a little bit. What I would strongly consider is maybe even a 2-year degree in a, some kind of farm course where you could take agronomy and get some hands-on stuff there. Maybe get a welding class in and some of the trade kind of stuff that you need to know how to do. But yeah, free college is a lot more valuable than having to pay for it. The timing issue is a little bit, it is what it is. But if you could, I wouldn't turn that down, I don't think. A college degree is good to have because it's a safety net if you ever have issues with the farming side of stuff in the future for whatever reason, or you want to do something different. Farming as a business, need to know, understand what will affect you. Bit of accounting, bit of law, bit of mechanic, a lot of farming. Figure out how to learn that. Exactly. Just bought our first farm for north of 40,000 Canadian. 40,000 Canadian an acre or total? Education dependent where you are and what you want to get. 6th-gen farmer, his experience with South Dakota State. Some schools are more theory, some are more practical. Ask him about theirs. Yeah. I mean, my dad told me he wouldn't hire me unless I had a college degree. That's why I went to school. And I'm glad he did. I've used that degree a lot, especially in some of my side businesses, the seed side of stuff. And some of the connections that you make and the people. And there's a lot more value to the degree than just having a piece of paper that says you have a degree. So they're not worthless unless it's in a worthless category. Dusty. All right, where are we at? What would you suggest for a degree to become a seed dealer? Ag business, ag sales, anything along those lines would be super helpful. How much of the corn goes into ethanol production? Seems like E1585 fuels at the regional auto fuel stations seem to be really cheap. Wonder if there's any correlation with the corn harvest. I doubt there's much correlation. The correlation is the fact that corn is cheap right now, so ethanol can be cheap. How much of ours? Some, but probably not the majority. We don't have a super close ethanol plant. The one that was the closest has been closed for 2 years. I wish they would start it back up. That would be awesome. And then a huge portion of our corn crop would go to ethanol production. But as it sits now, not that much. There are 2 ethanol plants that we do haul some to, but both are about an hour away in opposite directions, and there's not a good route to get to either one of them. So we definitely don't haul much there in the fall when we're busy and need to move loads quickly, but we do some in the throughout the winter, spring, summer when we're hauling out of the bins. Got bored, retired after a week. Got bored being retired after a week. Okay, there's a key word in there. Being. TGI T40 will work well for your farm. I operate one in Central California. A great addition for your fleet. Yeah, I think it would be great. We just got to make it work. Just got a new Ford F550, gas 7.3. It's getting 5 miles per gallon. I will go Chevy. Noted. Per acre. Ouch, Wayne. Ouch. The advice has been super helpful, though. Thanks to everyone for the knowledge. You're welcome. What's the deal with the wooded lots surrounding your fields? If they call